Hello everybody and welcome to the kitchen counter. This is where I'll be doing my review tonight of my brand new watch. And no, it's not either of these. It's this. The 42 millimeter Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. Now I've owned the 38 millimeter model for a while. And I've been, doing a lot of research on this guy right here, trying to figure out if it would be a better fit for my 7 3/4 inch wrist, and I think the answer is a resounding yes. So nobody that I've been able to find actually really compared the two for somebody like me that is not sure if they're better off with a 38 or a 42. So I just wanted to kind of compare and contrast here a little bit. The 38's been my go-to work watch for a while, and it's awesome for that particular reason. It is basically indestructible from what I can tell. I can wear it when I'm doing hard manual labor. I can wear it if I'm wrenching on pipes under, a barbecue island. And it doesn't really ever seem to get any scratches. It's kind of weird, but I'll zoom in on this 38 so you can really take a look here. This thing's been through the ringer, and the only real scratch that I can see is at the top right here, and that was the result of banging it directly on jagged concrete. Now, I did hit it over here a couple times also, but oddly enough, the scratches just don't really show up. It's kind of a trip. Even though, the clasp is a little banged up, but maybe the bracelet's got a couple scuffs on it, but all in all, the thing's freaking strong. I don't know, that's the only way I can describe it. It's strong, and it just holds up to the rigors of difficult manual labor really well. So that's been my go-to work watch for a while. My only complaint was that it is just a little bit small on my wrist. So I picked up this guy. Got it on eBay, got a heck of a deal on it, brand new. Tags, receipt, everything. And here, just wanted to kind of show you some of the similarities and differences here. So 42 millimeters, this one's going to be 9.9 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, it is 50 and a half millimeters, not including that extra, maybe a millimeter on each side. So technically you could probably call it about 52 and a half millimeters. And it's pretty beefy too. It's got a good weight to it. I haven't weighed it yet, but 22 millimeters between the lugs and female end links that allow it to drape down pretty nicely on the wrist. So yeah, so far I really like the way this fits my wrist. I do have pretty good sized wrist. I'll pop it on real quick so you can take a look. You can judge for yourself. Let me zoom out a little bit here too. Guess I can't zoom out any further than that. Come on. No? All right, well there you go. So it might look a little snug, but it's actually got a good amount of room underneath. I found what I think to be the perfect fit. Now, if I try to wear this in the morning, if my wrist is a little bit swollen, it might still be a little bit snug, but it feels really good otherwise. So that's on the wrist, and I'll pop that off, and I'll show you the 38 millimeter. With these watches, I don't worry about banging them around, like I might with this guy over here. So that's the 38 millimeter. I'm sorry, I don't know, for whatever reason I can't zoom out here, but yeah, it's a pretty substantial difference. Like I said, 7 3/4 inch wrist. So from afar, and especially, when you're looking at me in my entirety, I'm 6'2", and this definitely looks a little small. So if you're a big guy like me, bigger wrist, 6'2", anywhere from 6 foot to 6'5", I would say, or even taller, obviously. I think the 42 millimeter might be the right option for you. What the heck happened here? Oop, got it stuck in its own clasp. The clasp on this one is different than it is on the 38 millimeter. Let's put them side by side. On the 38 we have, looks like a pressed kind of sheet metal clasp. The internal is just stamped, The internal on this one is a milled swing arm, a little different. Double deployant clasp, so it won't open unless you press both sides. Oddly enough though, there is no diver extension on this one, but on this one there is. And I actually call it a field extension because, you know, you're not going to take this thing in the water, but you might wear it on an overcoat when you're out in the cold or if you're out in the field and you want to be able to look at your watch without pulling up your wrists. That's probably the reason you would have that on there. That's my guess, but kind of a neat little added feature, but maybe not 100% necessary. But yeah, this is just kind of a friction clasp, I guess, with a little swing arm on top. A couple differences. So maybe I'll just kind of hold these up. You can take a look for yourself. I do think let me see if I got these lined up. The bezel appears to be a little bit taller on the 42 than it is on the 38. I believe otherwise they're just about the same height, so maybe a ½ millimeter taller. Side by side, maybe not, it might not look as substantial on the camera as it is in real life, but the 42 is substantially larger comparatively. Probably kind of hard to tell there, huh? Yeah, but I'll tell you, in real life, it definitely looks a lot bigger than it does in the camera. Here. Crowns, I believe, are the same size or close. Yeah, pretty darn close. Maybe the 42's crown is a little bit longer. The way they wind, I would say pretty much identical. I will say though, operation on the crown, pulling it out, it seems to pull out a little bit easier on this one than it does on the 38. I don't know if that's just because this one's gone everywhere and it's gotten dirty, it's been in the water. Maybe it's just a little grittier or something, but yeah, differences in the size of the bracelet. You can see 22 versus 20 millimeters there, and that kind of gives you a good idea, the difference in the width. For a big guy like me, the 42 is definitely the right option. I love the white dial, and I particularly love the numerals. I don't know if I can pick it up here. Oh, there you go. They almost have like, let me clean it a little here. They almost have what looks like, and the black one has this also, but very shiny numerals. You can catch it in certain light, and you can see it on the numerals, and you can see it on the hands also. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Reflective, I guess. Almost kind of enameled, it seems like. And I really appreciate the black outline on the hour hand and the minute hand and the second hand there, because when it's dim light, it makes it much easier to read what time it is having the black outline. And the lume is actually pretty darn good. Not the best, but honestly, pretty good. So, case back. They both have the same case back. Nothing too exciting there. Just kind of, I think they just kind of made it as flat as they possibly could, you know, because that's what it's all about. Hugs the wrist. But yeah, this feels quite a bit more substantial, all in all, than the 38 does. Move this off to the side, and just for reference, this is my 40 millimeter Grand Seiko. Again, kind of hard to tell on the camera, but the Hamilton is pretty substantial in comparison in terms of heft and you know, overall size. Although the Grand Seiko might be a little bit thicker, not by much. So, what else is there to say about this watch? Honestly, it's a simple watch, which is really what I like about it. Just tells the time. It's rugged. It can take a beating, and never seems to really show scratches. This bead blasted finish on here is interesting, and you know, like I said, it basically is very scratch resistant. I don't think there's anything in terms of properties of the stainless steel itself that makes it any more resistant to scratches than any other kind of material, but just for whatever reason, that type of surface itself, that type of finishing, just doesn't show scratches. So I love that about this watch. Oh yeah, we're using pins and collars, or just pins, not pins and collars. And oddly enough, they're not even split pins. They're a pin that's just a little thicker at one end, And you know, honestly, resizing this thing was super easy. I got my little block and punch, and I just tapped it with a little baby hammer a couple times. Pops right out the bottom, and then you put it back in the way it came in, that came out. Turn it over, tap it in a little bit, and it's done. I can get this thing resized quicker than I can with, you know, screws, which is really cool, especially now that I know how to do it. So, anyways, guys, that's all I wanted to show you. Sorry about my long thumbnail. I peeled half my nail back last week, and it's kind of just grown back finally. Yeah, anyways, leave your comments, questions below, and look forward to the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye now.